Welcome back to my channel. It is Candace with the K here, where I normally talk books, beauty, and kicks, but today we are doing some reality where I am giving my episode 2 recap of Married to Medicine. Let's get into it. So in my first recap of episode 1, I said that it was necessary for Quad to come in stepping on next. Okay? They are really trying to do one over on Quad by having Dr. G and T be on this season, and I said I wasn't having it. So Quad needed to come back and let them know who is the queen of Married to Medicine. One of them, because they're all queens. But she came through and was wearing that Aria two-piece that was just gorgeous. It was cute. It was snatched. The bob, I didn't really like the part on that wig, but that's okay, because the outfit slayed, okay? So her and Phaedra are having this sit down where Quad is expressing the way that she feels about the group, which are valid reasons. However, the producers are a little messy when Quad said she didn't know why Toya had it out for her. And then it's clips of Quad coming for Toya and Eugene. I thought that was hilarious, but nonetheless, I think Quad is such a pivotal part of this show that it would be so hard to have a Married to Medicine without her. So it appears that she's going to keep stepping on next, and I am most excited to see her pop up next week at Sweet T's bachelorette party. Before we get to Sweet Tea, let's focus on Toya, because Toya also is an underrated Bravo celebrity. And I say that because from season 1, Toya has remained true to herself. There is no doubt about it that Toya is the unfiltered, beautiful, hair is always laid, body is tea. I don't want to call her housewife, but housewife, okay? So she has been so consistent on her Bravo journey that I have nothing but respect for Toya. I think Toya is one of the realest, okay? A lot of people be indifferent about Toya. I like Toya. I especially liked their conversation with their boys because if nothing else, Toya is going to be a good mother. So Toya is going to make sure that her boys know the straight, the raw, the unfiltered, and their little sex conversation was hilarious. Even more so, Toya having a wine club is a genius idea. It's genius. Like, I think that is such a great business venture for her. And now they can't even throw no shade at her saying that she don't work, because now she work. Okay, now she is putting on her entrepreneurial hat, and I think it's just a genius idea, and I love the concept. I love the idea. Will I purchase Toya Wine Club? I don't know. I am going to look up the prices because I would be curious. But I think it's a great idea. So I'm all for it. In last night's episode, when it relates to Dr. G and T, we see T go dress shopping. We see her kind of pleading with Greg to be more involved in the wedding planning. And we see her have a meltdown at the wine tasting. Starting with the wedding planning, of her asking for assistance in the wedding planning, it's already another red flag for me, because he is saying, I'm paying for it. And we know that any man that is using his purse as a form of control is not going to be a good thing. It's just a blaring red flag for me, because as much as it's her day, it's his day. And as much as it's her wedding, it's his wedding. But maybe because he's already done this before, he doesn't want to do it again. Who knows what that experience was like with Quad. I'm sure Quad was a bridezilla. But like, there's got to be some unpacking of that there. Then she goes dress shopping. And no tea, no shade to her friend, but baby, you shouldn't have had that fake Louis Vuitton on camera with that brassy ass gold. We all clocked that. That fake ass Louis Vuitton that you got off DH Gate. Baby, you should have left that at home or left it in the car. But nonetheless, something about T that I just can't get jiggy with, because she presents way older than she is, and it's terrifying. I don't want to say it's terrifying. It's terrifying because from the dress selections that she was choosing, from the ill-fitting Like, she's very top heavy. And as Phaedra said, she's butt challenged. The proportions, her taking offense to not having on a girdle, babe, you better be cinched on the day of your wedding. Like, why do you want to look fluffy on the day of your wedding? And that's just traditional undergarments. You want to be like sleeked and Coke bottle, right? I just don't think she fits in this group. And so then we get to the wine tasting. She's already having to deal with Phaedra and Toya, who are throwing shade out of love. Okay, so we could call that constructive criticism. But then you get to Heavenly. I love Heavenly. Heavenly's so funny. But Heavenly gonna tell you to you straight too. And we talk about this age gap relationship group. The age gap relationship group is interesting. And I find it even more so interesting because T has a tendency to turn to the internet for community. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but we should be slightly concerned because you slid in his DMs, which that's you turning to the internet. Now you're also in a group of how to navigate being a girlfriend to an older man, which in my opinion doesn't seem that difficult because all men act the same regardless of their age. So in what are you actually learning in said group? I'm curious now. Even more so, I'm always alarmed. Not that it's wrong, because I do think you can find quality friends online. But what? It's just a what to me. It's like what is going on? And Phaedra called it right. This is a sugar baby support group. Because what are you actually learning? I would like somebody to post some screenshots or something in this support group so I can know. Because maybe it could be of use to all women. Why aren't these public knowledge? Like, dang, help me out, okay? Yeah, at the wine tasting, T expresses that she's overwhelmed with the wedding planning, having to adjust to this new friend group, etc. Which I get wholeheartedly. It's perfectly fine to be overwhelmed. I do appreciate Simone kind of nurturing her and checking on her because nobody else seemed to care. Oh, that's not funny. But nobody else did seem to care. But I think one of the things that is so apparent and obvious and has been mentioned before is that T does not fit into this group of women. And that's just the bottom line. The Married to Medicine producers are forcing this storyline on us because they are assuming that we are interested in the dynamics between T, Quad, and Gregory. After hearing that Gregory was physically violent to Quad and her doing the same thing, Greg shouldn't even be allowed on this show. T, we talking about her, is already benefiting more than what she would have by not being on the show. And as Heavenly said, she is going to elevate simply because. I think that is not right. Dr. Alicia, in my opinion, and her chocolate husband should have been our newest couple. Because the joy of Married to Medicine is seeing these established women with these professional doctors. There was no need for us to backtrack on Greg. After him and Quad were done, they were done. Quad just so happened to stay on the show because she was such a character, right? Because Quiet as it's kept, after that too, you're no longer Married to Medicine, my love. But we like Quad, so that's why that can remain. So I just think there's just a part of me that just does not see it for T. And I hope that this is a one and done situation. She's probably a wonderful person. She's probably a wonderful girl. And it probably would have worked if she was socializing with women in her age group. All these women are too damn old to be talking to this 31-year-old. Like, it just feels forced and it feels unnecessary. And I don't think we as viewers should have to deal with that. Like, now, I will say, my soror, Dr. Jackie, is always going to wear some pink and green. I love her for it. Phaedra, I wasn't sure about this look. Didn't know where we were going here. But what really killed me was baby still had that price tag on that zebra dress. And Heavenly said she should took that shit back. Because you can see that she wants to elevate her style to match the styles and fashion of the group, but it's not on her. It's not in her. She don't have that. So, and that's why I don't think she's a good fit. It's like we're forcing the issue at this moment. We're forcing it. Let that slide. Let it go. I think in that final scene of the sit down between Phaedra and Dr. Gregory, we see some other blaring flags. Red ones. His comparison to Quad. He compared T to Quad, and I don't think that's right because they aren't comparable. I don't think he should have compared the two. He shouldn't even be mentioning Quad's name, to be quite frank. The fact that they are less than a month out before their wedding and there was no prenuptial agreement agreed upon. Red flag. I don't think that T is... She doesn't give the sense of that she's a super gold digger, and I know people make that assumption because of the age difference, but she doesn't really give that. She seems very simple, and that's no tea, no shade. She just seems like... She seems simple. But if I were Dr. G... I will hold it down. Him even making mention that he wasn't sure if he was predator or prey. Hold it down. I think there are so many aspects to this that are just real fuzzy. I am looking forward to next week's episode when we see Quad pop up at the bachelorette party. Because should Quad have been there? No. Thank you, Phaedra, for bringing her because I needed that entertainment. And I am so excited for it and I can't wait to see it. So I hope to see you next week when I drop my episode 3 recap and we can really talk about it, okay? Until then, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you next time. Peace.